everybody, and welcome to In My Mug, episode 228, on Monday the 25th of March 2013. I am your very cold host, Stephen Layton, and today I am scared. I am very, very scared about the coffee that we're going to share. But before we get to that, we should do the news! So, a big few weeks coming up in the very near future. One of our first containers of the year arriving from El Salvador should be with us next week, maybe the week after. I expect to see a lot of them here on In My Mug. And for those who are interested, and a few people have asked me, I made my half marathon after my Russia debacle. I got off the plane at 9 o'clock. I drove up an hour up the motorway to Stafford, where the start had already started. Did an hour and 45 minutes, which is not my best, but then it turns out 10 hours travelling is not the best preparation for running a half marathon, but it was a lot of fun and I made it, and Russia was even more fun. Very good times. And happy birthday, Roland. Roland's birthday is coming up, and I'm sure you would like to take a chance to wish him a happy birthday. There will be a prize for the best happy birthday comment that gets left, and I'll talk more about that in a while. But that was the news! So, it's time for 20 seconds on, and this week it's going to be on Ethiopia. Okay, we should do this. Before, I don't think you can see it. That's how cold it is. My breath is steaming up. Okay, let's go. And so Ethiopia is the only country in the world where coffee grows indigenously. All of the coffee plants that in the coffee world can be traced back to Ethiopia. Coffee is critical to the Ethiopian economy, with about 25% of the population depending on it directly or indirectly for coffee as its livelihood. Coffee exports accounted for some 350 million, which equivalent to 34% of the total exports from that country. 20 seconds on. It's interesting that 10% of the annual government revenue comes from coffee. It's extremely important to Ethiopia. And Ethiopian coffee is extremely important to me too. I'm a big fan of it. So, at the start I said I was scared. And I'm scared because we have a natural. We have a natural Ethiopian to share with you. Naturals scare me with you lot, as some of you love them. And I mean love them. And some of you hate them. And I mean hate them. This is one of the funkiest Ethiopians we had of... This is last year's crop, although it's still this year's crop, because this year's crop hasn't even sailed from Ethiopia yet. So it's the tail end, and this was a late shipment one, so this was a late harvest Ethiopian, but it's coming towards the end, and I just wanted to get it out while it's still tasting as amazing as it is. Now, a warning before we start, it's Ethiopian Wote natural, and it is nothing like the washed Wote that we had last year. Completely different, as you're going to see, because it's a natural, and it's a natural from Yirgacheffe, from a small processing station in the Congo region, and it's one that's owned by one person, which is Mr. Mergaya, and he has 100 employees that work at the mill. The station processes around about 3 containers of coffee a year, which is not big, and there are around about 600 farmers who give to those 3 containers. They bring their cherries to the washing station, they are pulped, and then they are broken into separate lots and sold through the ECX, where they get cupped for quality. Yirgacheffe is a very common name in coffee. It's a very big region, but it's actually really in Sidama, which we'll find out about in the map bit. This was bought from the cupping table. It tasted amazing. I loved it, and I thought, no, this is definitely one that we should be getting. It's a big part of, I think, Blake. Yeah, big part of Blake. And it gives a real kind of big body and a really good kind of mouthfeel to it. Coffee is hand-picked, naturally processed, as I've already said, grown at around about 1,800 metres to 2,000 metres above sea level. And we reckon there's around about 26 different varietals in this coffee. The main one being Typica, but that's Ethiopia for you. There are a lot of heirloom varietals that are grown in that region. And that's it. So I think it is now time for the map bit. It's the map bit. No expense spent. It's the map bit. So here we are. We're going to zoom down to Has Been Toes and zoom out as quick as we get there. And instead of going to our left, we're going to go to the continent of Africa. That means we've done Asia, America and Africa on these new map bits, which I'm very pleased about. So number of coffee growing countries, we've got 18. Population is massive. The surface area is massive. And if you compare that to the UK surface area, you get a real understanding of how big a continent it is. I have an apology to make. I actually made a mistake on the old map bits with the UK surface area. I am an idiot and I apologise to everybody who may have been misled by my stupidity. But here we go. So we're going down to Ethiopia. Ethiopia, the birthplace of coffee, as I've already said, and an amazing place for coffee. Let's look at the country with our snazzy little graphics. So whizzing that in, we have the name, funnily enough, is Ethiopia. The population, 84 million, or nearly 85, and surprisingly small when you look at the surface area compared to the UK. It's a very spread population, and the capital is Addis Ababa. So if we go back to the map, you can see Addis actually just to the bottom there, but it's more or less in the centre. So this is Djibouti. Djibouti is the main port that all the coffee from Ethiopia comes out from. It used to be part of Ethiopia, but it was given away many years ago, and now the country is landlocked. But we're going to zoom down to the very well-known town of Yirgacheffe. Very small town, considering how well it's known in the coffee-growing world. Somewhere I've been, and was a very special place for me to go to. I know it's very, very cool. And to the south of that, we can see the town of Wote. And that's it. That is the map bit. So I'm afraid, yes, that was as vague can be. It's as much as I know about this coffee. It's very, very difficult to get exact information on coffees like this. But now it is time for Birthday Boy's Daft Fact. Roland's Daft Fact of the Week.
Ethiopia is the world's 7th largest producer of coffee and Africa's top producer, with nearly half of the coffee consumed by Ethiopians. This country leads the continent of Africa for domestic consumption. Now, it's my birthday, and I've got something special. If you'd like to win a bottle of Roland's brew, you need to leave me a birthday comment below, please. Thank you!
Roland's Daft Fact of the Week. So, what he was trying to get at, rather badly I thought, is that this is Roland's birthday present. He doesn't know about it yet, but it's a special bottle of beer we've had made up, and it's called Roland Glue's Special Brew. See, I'm keeping my voice down because he's about. What you can do is if you leave a comment below the In My Mug on the blog, inmymug.com, and wish him a happy birthday, you'll get entered into a draw to win one of these very special bottles. You have to be over 18, and you have to prove to me you're over 18, because I'm not sending alcohol to little boys who want to drink it in the park. But yeah, it's Roland Glue, he's much cleverer than me and you bottle. So comments below, wishing him a happy birthday. You can win one of these very limited edition Roland Glue's Daft Flat beers. So, okay, moving on. Wheel of Death. Death to them all. Oh, we need to change it, don't we? I need to look at this. I'm going to be really unprofessional. I haven't done this for ages. I'm going to go off camera. I'm still here, look. And I'm getting Cortado. So what did we have last week? We had... Come on, Leighton, remember the 5th of November. No, it wasn't the 5th of November. What was it we had last week? Oh, no. I can't remember. My mind has gone. No. Lungo! Of course it was. It was Lungo. I'm really organised today, aren't I, guys? Right, okay. Wheel of Death. Where it goes, nobody knows and nobody cares. It is Cortado. Okay, Cortado it is. I can't remember. I actually haven't had a Cortado for a long time. I can't remember the last time I had one. So, Cortado it is. I'm going to whap you on pause. I'm going to go make tasty and delicious drinks, and I'll be back with you in just a second. This is the quickest in my mug in the world ever because it is just so cold. So start with the espresso. Can you tell Chris has done the drinks for me again? God bless you, Chris. Wow. The funky bus is coming. Do, 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 do. For me, blueberries, ice cream, lemonade, booziness. Big booziness. Like real alcohol kick to it there. It's a big one. In fact, I'm going to take a little drink before I do the cortado. Because it is such a big espresso. Just give me ice and everything. Ice in this room. It's freezing and I've got icy water. So, cortado. What does it mean? It's basically espresso cut with milk. My interpretation is a 50-50. So I do 50% espresso, 50% milk. It's no real foam. There's a little bit of foam on this, but not a lot. You see, it's a very small amount. Tends to be served in a glass for me. Sometimes it's very similar to a piccolo. Very similar to what's the other? Cortado. Yeah, cortado because it is a cortado. What's the other one? That's another one. But it's a baby cappuccino, but it's a coffee cappuccino. So I think it will work really well with it. I'm looking forward to it. So the ice cream, because of the creaminess of the milk. Sorry, bear with me. That's not 20 seconds on. Over. Let's set that going. The creaminess makes the ice cream really stand out more, and it is just like blueberry ice cream with this. This is probably... Will of Death's been very kind to me recently. It's really got to give me Irish coffee soon or something horrible or Cafe Correcto. But it works super well with this coffee. In fact, I think it's a perfect match for this coffee. If you're not trying it, if you kind of normally have a big milk one, try this with a little bit less milk. It's so much so, I will drink a little more of it. And more icy water in between. I'm going to stop that because it's going to take forever. So let's pour it into my Bob the Bunny says life's too short for bad coffee mug. Bob the Bunny's everywhere. Here's Bob the Bunny. You're going to hear the door opening now. I think that's Roland Glue being noisy. It is Roland Glue being noisy. So let's dive into the brood. Okay, I think this is where the booziness comes in. This gets boozier and boozier, more so than the espresso. It's a big cup. The mouthfeel is huge. It kind of covers the mouth. It's thick, it's gooey. I really like this coffee. I know some of you are going to really hate this coffee. What can I do? Enough of you pestered me for this to be in my mug that I had to do it. So let's move on to the pinboard of doom. Let me get my notes. This was sent in by Rob. Rob sent us a picture of the bag when he was on holiday, and he's also sent me this one. And yeah, he sent it me because we were getting low on them, and we are really low on them. Thank you, Rob. I love this. This is very arty and very, very well taken. So thank you very, very much. And now it's time for the staff clip. So this week's staff clip comes from our resident comedian, Mr. Gary.
Gazzy's gas.
E-bagum. I don't really get this one. I don't understand it, but Shrewsbury Coffee House tweeted it the other day and I thought I would use it. So the joke goes, why did the hipster burn his mouth when drinking this coffee? 'Cause he drank it before it was cool. I don't get it.
Gazzy's gas.
I thought it was funny. Okay, that's it. Time to wrap up, time to finish. Thank you very much for joining me as always. And do remember, what is life too short for? That's right, bad coffee.